So let me walk you through the timeline of how I decided on bringing this deck. So a week ago at the Cologne Regional, I had no idea this existed yet. Or like the idea, I did not think about playing Runick Spright last weekend for the YCS. I did not consider it as one of my options. I had tested the deck on stream, and I made that one list that I uploaded on YouTube a couple weeks ago, which was quite different from this one. But I tested that deck back then, and I thought it was fine, but I felt like it was overall just a little bit too weak into a Rise Heart, and it did have some problems with the grind game in general, because the Sprite cards simply don't perform very well after turn 1 anymore. You just don't have follow-up by the Sprite cards anymore. You're not like, like it just doesn't do much after turn 1 because you cannot recycle your stuff with Elf. So in order for you to set up like another Carrot Negate or another Red Negate or whatever else, you would have to play multiples. And so I don't know. At some point during my testing, I discarded Runick Spright as an option, like weeks ago. And then this last weekend, I genuinely didn't know what I was gonna test and bring to the YCS, so I just played the Labyrinth deck, and that went pretty poorly. And so on Sunday, I was pretty desperate. I was like, yo, what the hell do I play? I don't know what I play. Because I tested Kashtira again, and Kashtira just did not convince me. Once again, don't get me wrong, I think Kashtira is a great deck, but I just don't feel happy with it in my hands. Like, I just don't think it gives me... It's not a deck that I feel confident in getting me to topping an event or winning an event. It's a good deck, but I think it just performs this well because, it's like I said earlier, it's pretty arbitrary, right? I feel like that just some people, everyone's prepared for Kashtira, so you're basically playing roulette every round. You're still favored in the roulette because Kashtira is pretty damn strong, but it's still not something I felt comfortable with. But I also, last Sunday, when I tested Kashtira and didn't like it, I also didn't really like anything else. Right? I also didn't really like anything else. The only thing that I did like overall was Runick's. I liked Runick's, but I didn't really know what to pair it with, and so that's what I talked to some other people about. Right? I talked to Ben on Sunday. I was like, or on Monday, I don't know. I was like, I feel like it has to be something with Runick, but I didn't like Naturia Runick and I didn't like Plunder Runick enough to make that the call, right? And then Ben was like, hey, we're working on this Life Twin Runick Spright that I think some of them already played at the Cologne Regional and did pretty okay with. Do you want to join us, right? Do you want to work on it with us? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? It's like let's just work on it together. Let's see if I maybe overlooked something when I tested Spright Runick. And I did overlook the possibility of this exact version in my testing. And they did not. So that was pretty good that they showed me this, because I realize now that when I tested Runick Spright with Life Twins the first time, I made the mistake of not playing a lot of Life Twins, basically. I just played the full Spright package, the full Runick package, and then just very few of the twins, like 2 or 3, to just have them with Sprint and Gigantic sometimes. But what they realized was that drawing a Life Twin is really, really good because it helps you play through almost everything, going first and second. The Life Twins are really, really good. And B is that the Life Twins are actually better in the grind game than the Sprites. The Life Twins do so much for you each turn. What Sprites used to do every turn with Elf is what the Twins do now by just like their natural grind game. So all you need to do is get into your grind game with Runics and Life Twins, and you're gonna win from there. There's no deck that outgrinds Life Twins and Runics. And so the sprites are really only here to solidify your first turn, right? Like when you draw a Life Twin and you draw a Sprite, you can play through every single hand trap in the game. Like if you draw Runics and Sprites, you don't actually have to draw a Life Twin. You can get it out with Sprint and Gigantic. I think it was a brilliant concept, and it felt like the best solution to the format. It's like, you can say about this format whatever you want. I think Kashtira is kind of a badly designed deck. I do agree with that, but I honestly, looking back at the event, I think this deck was beautiful, and I think if whenever I look back at an event, and I can safely say I found a very good deck, or not I found it, but it was possible to find a really good deck and feel really confident with it, then I think the format can't be that bad. And this deck, I think, did that. I think this deck was great. I think had I had a little bit more time, maybe I could have improved on a few things, because it doesn't feel optimal yet, you know, like 7... The random Sunny Snitch doesn't feel optimal. The random Talents doesn't feel optimal. 16 Runics doesn't feel optimal. It still felt really, really strong, but I think there's some room for improvement.